Beneath Noctavia, Chapter 8, More Goblins. Then let's get going, the man says before getting in the van. Amanda opens the side door for Ethan before getting in the passenger seat. He sees it's only the three of them here. So, who's all entering the dungeon? I heard you say your boss is acting as the guard? Ethan asks as the man starts the engine. Yes, our boss is a captain at the guild. For reference, there are 10 captains in the Concord Wardens. Each captain is only second to the guildmaster. Our boss is one such captain. He's here on business, when normally he travels often. He decided to take part in the dungeon. He'll be there, solely to ensure your safety. He won't help at all, unless someone's about to die. I know they're sending in some other recent recruits like you, but I don't know the specifics. The man replies. Ethan nods and looks out the window. He wants to start using Enhanced Body, as he's full on MP, but since he'll be fighting soon, he doesn't risk it. After 20 minutes, they stop at a forest path. There's a group of 4 waiting by another identical van. They're all wearing regular clothes except for the man. He has a suit and tie on. He has short red hair and a scar across his face. It goes between his eyes at an angle. Ethan gets out, followed by Amanda and the man. They walk up to the group. This must be Ethan. I've heard a lot about you. The man in the suit says before walking over to Ethan. It's nice to put a face to the name, he says while shaking Ethan's hand. Thanks, I guess. I wish I could say the same about you, Ethan says, causing him to smack his forehead with his palm. Right, I'm sorry. My name is Jason Maddox. I'm a captain of the Concord Wardens. I'll be supervising this dungeon trip to ensure you don't die. Are you ready? Jason asks. Yes. Are they coming with us? Ethan asks while motioning at the others. Yes, they're new recruits, as I hope you will be soon. Now come, let's cast the party spell, Jason says while walking back to the other 3. Party spell? One of them, a woman, asks. It's a spell that was designed more recently. It links us together, allowing us to sense each other's conditions. We use it to ensure our teammates don't get in trouble when we split up. But this dungeon is small, so we won't be splitting up, Jason says before snapping. A magic circle appears around the 5 of them. A new menu appears in Ethan's field of view. He can see a small image of the other's face. Next to each face is a red and blue line. Before we enter, do dungeons have red skies? Ethan asks, causing Jason to look at him, surprised. You knew? He asks. Yeah, when I awakened my mana, I went for a walk. On my way home, I entered what I now think was a dungeon. There were goblins and a goblin shaman. I just wanted to ask before we begin. Ethan replies. Interesting. How'd you get out of the dungeon? Jason asks. I got kicked out after killing the goblin shaman. I weakened its shield with my spells, then threw my weapon at it. Ethan replies, causing him to smile. Good, well, let's get going, Jason says before taking out a scroll. He unrolls it and it combusts. Before it turns to ash, Ethan observes it. Enter Dungeon Barrier Scroll, Common Level 5. New skill, Enter Escape Dungeon Barrier Level 1, Active. 5 mecha pieces per use. Enter Escape Dungeon Barrier allows the caster to enter any barriers or dungeons in the vicinity. The spell will fail if the dungeon or barrier owner prevents you from entering. The spell will fail if the level of the caster and the barrier are too far apart. The higher the level, the better the chance of success. The caster can also escape from barriers or dungeons, but if the level difference is too high, the spell will fail. New skill. Create Barrier Level 1, Active. 10 MPT per use. Create Barrier allows the caster to create a barrier. The barrier will have a variety of options as the level increases. Currently, the caster can only create a realistic barrier. 2 new skills for observing a scroll, and they sound vitally important too. Ethan thinks as the world around them changes. The forest in front of them disappears. It gets replaced with the plains. There's tall grass, about 3 feet tall, all around. Ethan looks around and sees Jason glance around. I'll put up the curtains. Change quickly, then come out, he says before flames rise around Ethan and the others. Ethan changes into his second gear set before walking out of the flames. They don't hurt him and barely feel warm. Done already? Where's your weapon? Jason asks. Ethan stored his katana in his inventory, so it was auto-equipped. I picked up a new spell. I want to give that a try. Is that all right? Ethan asks. Jason nods, clearly curious. Ethan briefly wonders why Jason, a captain, seems so interested in him, but he pushes it aside. Ethan casts Blood Claws? causing blood to spray out of his arm. It envelops his arm below the elbow. Ethan winces as he loses 25 HP, over a tenth of his max. Surprisingly enough, the pain fades away quickly. Ethan admires the claws in awe. Blood has solidified around his arm and hand. He has sharp claws on his fingers, each ending in a sharp point. Unknown to Ethan, as he stares at his claws in awe, Jason stares at him in awe. What Ethan doesn't realize is that he's been silently casting spells. This is an advanced technique that only skilled mages can use, meaning that since he's doing it as a newbie, as a result of his innate trait, it shows he has great promise. The others come out of the flames wearing leather armor and holding metal weapons. One holds a sword, another a shield, and a mace. The woman holds a staff in her hands. They look at Ethan wearing a hoodie and jeans like the odd man out. Now that you're all ready, we'll start moving. This dungeon contains goblins and a hobgoblin boss. As you know, once the boss is slain, the dungeon will destabilize. You're to use these crystals when that happens to prevent it from happening. This way, we can come in and collect the resources. Jason says before handing out 4 small blue crystals. Ethan observes it when he gets his. It tells him it's a crystal that prevents dungeons from destabilizing for 6 hours. You use it by crushing it. I want Ethan and Mace up front. Jack, you'll stay by Amy and keep her safe if any make it past the others. Jason says before motioning for them to move. Ethan moves first, walking through the tall grass and looking around. The man with the mace and shield comes up to his side. Mace opens his mouth to speak, but Ethan silences him. Shh, he says while looking around. His danger sense skill warns him, but he can't tell what's coming. Suddenly, Ethan jumps back as a goblin jumps for him. It leapt from the grass in front of him. Ethan steadies himself and lunges for it. He slams his fist into its head. 77. Goblin slain? Plus 15 XP, $13. Ethan smiles, seeing the notification. He turns to see Mace crushing a goblin with his mace. Amy creates a magic arrow that pierces the skull of a goblin. Jack was holding off. I don't see numbers appearing for their damage. I guess they don't see mine either since they haven't reacted. I guess since it's my innate trait, no one else can see it. Ethan thinks before stretching. Good work. Bring the corpses here. Jason shouts, stopping Ethan. Ethan picks up the goblin corpse that's fading away. What's happening with yours? Jason asks as Ethan comes over. Monster corpses fade away when I kill them. It happened in the dungeon I stumbled into before. I thought it was normal, but now I think it's a result of my innate trait. Ethan says, causing Jason to nod. I know you're new to this, so no pressure. But can you disable that? These are just goblin corpses, so it's not a big deal if you can't. So again, no pressure. Jason asks, I'll try, Ethan replies before focusing on the disappearing corpse. All but its legs have turned to mist. Surprisingly, the second leg hovers in the air as if it's still connected to the body. De-disable auto-looting? Ethan mutters, doing what he did when he first switched his gear without touching it. A message box appears as soon as he says that. Warning, disabling auto-looting will prevent you from gaining money when killing an opponent. All monster corpses will stop breaking down into money and item material drops. You will still gain XP without any hindrance. Accept decline? Okay, it shouldn't happen again, Ethan says while tapping on accept. That's an interesting trait you have. Just as a warning, don't tell anyone you don't trust with your life the details of it. It's risky if it gets out and the wrong people hear of it. And just an FYI, we won't ask about it. It's rude to ask about innate traits. Jason says, Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. On another note, could I have the blood of any goblins I kill? Ethan asks. For your blood magic? Jason asks, causing Ethan to nod. Yes, like I implied earlier, goblins are hardly worth anything, but you can only have the blood of what you kill, Jason says before motioning for them to continue. They quickly encounter another group of goblins. Thanks to danger sense, Ethan warns the others before they pounce. It's not much, but it keeps them from being surprised. After killing 2 goblins in the second attack, their corpses remain. Ethan gets 30 XP and nothing else, but he's fine with it. He wants the blood, and he's not sure he could get that without turning auto-looting off. He uses blood absorption on the goblin corpses. He watches the blood get sucked out of them. It flows through the air and gathers into 2 small balls, each above a goblin. Ethan watches them fly over to him after draining the goblins dry. They disappear into a separate blood inventory that Ethan can sense. He immediately knows that he can store 22.5 liters of blood here. And that he now has 2 liters of blood. He can even sense its uses. He can use it to heal himself or to use instead of his HP when casting blood magic. Every liter is equal to 5 HP. Amazing. If I fill this up, I'll have over 100 HP ready to heal me with a single thought. Ethan thinks while carrying the corpses to Jason. He didn't see what Jason did before with them. The corpses go into a brown leather bag about the size of his head. They get sucked in and disappear. Are you controlling blood? Mace asks as they continue walking. Not quite. I can store it, but I can't control it freely. But I'm using it to enhance myself, Ethan replies. Doesn't that hurt? I thought blood magic used the caster's blood, he asks. It does, but it's manageable. Besides, it doesn't use as much mana as I feared for this kind of buff. Ethan replies, causing Mace to nod. They face 2 more ambushes, and Ethan kills 3 more goblins. He gets 3 more liters of blood. They stop when they see a large green goblin walking around.